Back in my toy house again. Second house I built just for my toys. Here's the Netflix CGI He-Man figure that I bought from Shopee, and here's the Talon fighter. So I have both of them together. I've also ordered a He-Man figure from 200X or series 2001, and it's being sent to my father's house in Australia, and he'll ship it to me in Thailand. It's hard to use eBay when you're in Thailand. There's many reasons why. So yeah, that figure will be good on display. And as you see, I've got a vintage He-Man there, a vintage Thunderpunch He-Man, vintage Men-at-Arms, and then the re-release of Castle Grayskull with Sorceress, and Orko is over there. The re-release of the vintage style Skeletor. Same goes for the Land Shark, and we've got the New Adventures of He-Man, the Starship Eternia in Space Station mode, and New Adventures of He-Man, He-Man with the Green Power Sword, Icarus, and so yeah, this is my re-release of a vintage style He-Man, still in the box. I like the old style head, not the ones that have the longer hair and He-Man making that weird face. Thinking about closing my Castle Grayskull and show so you can see the front of it. So you can do a theme where it looks like Skeletor and his bad guys attacking Castle Grayskull, because I like the front of Castle Grayskull. And I have a couple more vintage He-Mans here, and got a spare Starship Eternia gun. The way you can tell it's vintage is the feet are flat, they don't have grooves, and by the colours. And as you see, you don't see the flexible joints like in the new releases. The commemorative version, I think it was released in something like 2000, looks almost identical to the vintage He-Man, but with brighter colours. And the commemorative edition, the feet have grooves. As you see, the feet here are flat. So yeah, I've got 3 vintage original He-Mans, and a vintage Thunderpunch He-Man, and vintage New Adventures of He-Man, plus I think it's a 2021 re-release of the classic, of the vintage style He-Man, but see the feet have grooves. If you look closely, you can see the grooves, and the joints are flexible. It's a bit bigger than vintage He-Man too, but it's in the same style as vintage He-Man. For my other vintage toys, my Dino Riders are pretty self-explanatory. I've showed them in many other videos. Deinonychus fell down over there. And this is a re-release of classic Ninja Turtles. I got a TMNT blimp on the way, but it's a re-release, not the vintage one, so it doesn't have the bombs. And got a re-release of classic style Leonardo coming as well. I had them sent to my father's house in Australia, and he'll ship them to me because I couldn't find them on Shopee. Even though these Nintendo Entertainment System Minis were released not that long ago, it definitely is influenced by the 1980s. I never had a NES when I was a kid, but I played its games at shopping malls and emulators over a friend's house, and got grabbed a NES Mini when they were available. Yeah, I'll talk about some of its games. Yeah, Super Mario Brothers resurrected and also revolutionized the gaming industry. Final Fantasy started one of the best game series ever. It helped make RPGs popular on console. Some people say, "Oh, Ultima made RPGs popular," but well, they said Dungeons and Dragons and Ultima did that because they were around before Final Fantasy. But Final Fantasy made console gamers, RPG fans. Many people who don't play RPGs much love Final Fantasy. Kirby, Metroid. I actually preferred Sega Master System over the NES, but there is no Sega Master System Mini because Sega Master System has Phantasy Star and Land of Illusion, the Mickey Mouse game. In the background here you can see I have an Optimus Prime, but it's a Chinese knockoff. I did have a genuine Optimus Prime toy when I was a kid. There's a Galvatron. Speaking of 1980s, here's my Donkey Kong Game & Watch. I have the Donkey Kong 2 Game & Watch somewhere. I think it's in that orange bag. Yeah, I think it's in this bag here. Yeah, the Game & Watch things were great things from the 1980s. It was actually the first video game machine I owned. My grandmother bought me one, the original Donkey Kong, and I let my friends at school play it, and they let me play Donkey Kong 2. I actually prefer Donkey Kong 2 Game & Watch. I'm actually much better at Donkey Kong 2 Game & Watch than the original Donkey Kong as well. Here's my G.I. Joe Deep Six. He was my favourite G.I. Joe character. I got it in 1988, but I lost it, and then I rebought it. And I actually have a G.I. Joe Vector Jet being sent to my father's house because I had an Altitude G.I. Joe character when I was a kid. I'm trying to buy another one on eBay. I want one that's not too expensive but has the parachute. I'll put him in the Vector Jet, even though he's not a pilot, because I was pretty much given the Vector Jet for free by an eBay seller. Long story. I actually put my Deep Six on a hovercraft when I was a kid, but the hovercrafts on eBay are either expensive or incomplete. So I bought a boat for Deep Six, Piranha boat, but even though it's named Piranha, it's a sea boat, so I guess we put Deep Six in it, even though he's a deep sea diver. And I have a boxed New Adventures of He-Man. A New Adventures of He-Man with a power sword and shield and armor that are loose are expensive now on eBay, but I got mine boxed for only $140 back in 2015, 140 Australian dollars. Yeah, this was actually the first He-Man figure I got when I was 6 years old, 1989, because my grandmother went to the stores. She could never find the vintage He-Mans in the store. She would find the other characters, like Man-at-Arms and Leech, even Skeletor, but she could never find He-Man. They were always sold out. As for Transformers, I have a lion and I think it's a tiger. Got the helmet for the lion and the claw thing for the tiger and the gun thing for the lion. I think I got these in 1990 or 1989, but then I lost them over the years and just rebought them on eBay. In my previous videos, you may have noticed the top level was up too high and it wasn't attached to these two red things on the side, and I was aware of that, but it was just dark in here and it was hard for me to access it and it was behind many things. I just assembled it quickly when it was dark, so yeah, it looks better now. Stood He-Man up. Yeah, rearranged to putting Dino Rider table here. You can see He-Man the Power Sword now. I'm gonna put the close the Castle Grayskull and make it face Skeletor and his buddies, so it shows the theme. And it means I've got room to move through here now. And yeah, you can see my Commodore Amiga 500 in the background. Another great thing that came out of the 80s. I forgot to show I have this like shuttle thing here as well. It has both wings and there's a character inside it. Forgot his name. Stood my Deinonychus up. My Triceratops, I got smashed up when I was transporting it, and yeah, I have to find a way. I bought super glue that I showed in my last video in this house. The arm was pretty much smashed up, and I don't know how I'll touch the gun that goes on the side here to the Triceratops, because the part that you're supposed to attach the gun to is broken, and I can't find some of the pieces. I need to put it back together to attach the gun. Yeah. On the side of a Diplodocus needs repairs, but I don't want to use super glue because it'll permanently keep the pod open or closed. I've ordered blue tack, so I'll try that. Same for the Ankylosaurus, I'll use blue tack, not super glue, so add some flexibility. Yeah, woolly mammoth's expensive now, just Grom's expensive. Yeah, I love my T-Rex. Like I showed in other videos, I have another T-Rex in armor, but I just don't have room to put it. Just then, I put one of the Manta Rulons here, Krulos at the top, and yeah, so still need to put a Rulon at the back part, but yeah, T-Rex is looking good. Yeah, got to repair the claw. Another great thing from the 80s, Blade Runner. Yeah, this is a DVD, but came out in the early 80s. Yeah, Blade Runner never gets old. Great sci-fi noir. And it got a spinner car model over there, but the lights got knocked, broken off, but I can super glue them back on when I have time. I'll show a close-up of the spinner when I can get through all this. And Never-Ending Story. Never-Ending Story, it's hard not to love it. No, such great fantasy back in the 1980s, like Labyrinth was. Here's my Donkey Kong 2 Game & Watch. I keep it in this bag. I got when I got given first class on Thai Airways for free, and they gave me this bag souvenir. And I keep my Donkey Kong 2 Game & Watch in here. There's the Donkey Kong original Game & Watch. Yeah, I have the pen I got from using first class, but it's buried down there somewhere. So I'll keep my Donkey Kong Game & Watches on here, because I'm going to use this table for my Nintendo Switch collection, and also my Game Boy Advance collection, because CIB Game Boy Advance games are very expensive now. I've got Metroid Fusion, Yoshi's Island, A Link to the Past, and Super Mario World, boxed Game Boy Advance, and Nintendo Switch collection, because it's now my favorite console of all time. My Vita collection, my Game Boy Advance collection on here. Got some PSP games as well. I love portable consoles, they're so convenient. I'll keep Final Fantasy X HD, because Final Fantasy X is my favorite game of all time. I've got the PlayStation 3 version, which was the first version of it, and I also have it for Nintendo Switch. Super Mario Galaxy 2's my favorite 3D platformer of all time. I got The Last Story, another Nintendo Wii game, my second favorite game of all time after Final Fantasy X. I think a copy of Last Story is around there somewhere. You can see I've got games scattered over there. Got some games that I keep under here, and some games over there. In case you're wondering why don't I put them down here, that's because when my son and my nieces visit, I don't want them to play with my toys and games. Don't get me wrong, I let my son play my Nintendo Switch, but I don't want him to touch my other vintage games, like boxed Game Boy Advance games are very expensive now, and the boxes are made out of cardboard, so they can get damaged easily. Turns out my copy of Last Story is here all along. Here, second favourite game of all time, so I knew I put it in a safe place. In Marvel vs. Capcom 2, very expensive. Super Mario, Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. Here's something expensive, a CIB Pokemon Sapphire for Game Boy Advance. These are very expensive. Yeah, I know the box is a bit squashed because I didn't know it was worth so much. I kept it buried under a lot of things, and I dug it out when I moved to Thailand. Here's the cartridge for it, and it's same color as my Game Boy Advance. It has instruction manual. Back to 1980 things, one of my favourite movies of all time, the original Terminator. It was actually popular with female audience because it has a love story, and I like how you see the Los Angeles in ruins, and they actually made like models of it. I just like the detail movie goes into. Away from the 80s again, I found my sealed promotional disc version of Ocarina of Time for GameCube. It has the original Zelda and Zelda 2, which are 80s games. It's very expensive on eBay now, even ones that are not sealed. My one's sealed, even though the sealing has tears in it. The Super Mario World for GBA was actually down there. I know it came out in 91, but anyways, some people ask, how can you afford all of this stuff? It's simple. I don't, because I bought land for cheap in Thailand, built a house. I don't have to pay rent, and it saves me a lot of money, and I just collect things over the years. That's the answer. It's actually that simple, because rent drains a big chunk of people's income. You don't pay rent, you can afford lots of great things. Simple as that. I closed the Castle Grayskull and put Men-at-Arms at the gun, Sorceress at the top, and find somewhere I could put Orko and create a theme. Haven't got things exactly how I want it, but yeah, you can see the front of Castle Grayskull, Men-at-Arms at the gun, Sorceress, Orko, Cyclone, who's actually one of the good guys, vintage He-Man on the Battle Cat. I use an elastic band so he sits on better. Kind of see the Skeletor in the box from there. The grabber thing with Skeletor inside of his Moss Man, Crab, the Claw guy, Two-Face, an amphibian guy there. It's cool, he's got water in his helmet. Can't get closer because, again, it's a space issue. Have to squeeze through here every time it's hard. And the land shark that Skeletor can use his assault on Grayskull, so you got the theme. Yeah, I like the blue power sword for He-Man. Final touch, you got a re-release of the vintage style He-Man boxed over there. Nearly forgot to change my Danger Dog. Here he is, another great toy from the 80s from, I think it's Battle Beast. I had the rabbit guy, but I lost him. I got still in the 80s, my Macross, Super Dimension Fortune. Macross is my favourite anime series, and Robotech is based on that, just a westernized version. And yeah, so I have the Macross Saga Robotech, and I got a Valkyria fighter, a metal one. And I got a statue of Lin Min-mei. Here she is, the pretty girl Lin Min-mei. Here's my Blade Runner spinner. It was looking nice and it had all the lights on it, but the lights are broken off and it got shipped to Thailand and super glued them back on. Other parts have fallen off, the door's fallen off. I like the design of it. In the movie, the Japanese did a good model design as well, but I can fix it. But not least, a set of classic anime movies. Akira was definitely 80s. Don't know about Ghost of the Shell Ninja Scroll. I actually like Ninja Scroll the most out of them, but Akira is awesome. It's like, imagine if Blade Runner was an anime. So that wraps up my collection. I hope everybody enjoyed seeing it. Yeah, the Dino Rider Deinonychus caught in the trap. Turrets here. You had the super glue this thing back on. Yeah. I like the Torosaurus design. I use an elastic band so the guns are permanently pulled back, so you see the two big guns. You even see Gunner, Pachycephalosaurus, how to make it stand up. Rilon Deinonychus, T-Rex, Ankylosaurus, woolly mammoth. Don't know if I'll ever buy more Dino Riders because the Brontosaurus is too expensive. Or there's another dinosaur Rulon that I want. The name begins with M. I want to put it because Rulons in my theme look a bit outmatched because you've got the Diplodocus, Torosaurus, Mammoth, and more Dino Riders. I'm sure the T-Rex can hold its own, but the Triceratops and Deinonychus and Ankylosaurus look a bit outmatched. Like I said, I've got a spare T-Rex and full armor there, but got no room for it.